Morning, Saints. How are you? First, before I begin my formal comments, I want to again thank the good Padre. Father, thank you so much for the weather today. You know, when I was Secretary of the Navy and Marine Corps, because I had the Marines under my charge as well too, I had responsibility for over 500 chaplains. And in any given year, I might give up to 200 speeches actually in events. And I always asked the chaplain to pray hard for good weather, chaps. And when they did well, I actually promoted the ones that did well and got good weather. Now, I can't promote you today, but at least I could put in a good word with Pope Francis and perhaps a good word with Pope Leo as well, too. So thank you, Father. What an honor it is for me to be here on this magnificent, beautiful day on this beautiful campus that was actually founded with land that was donated by my classmate, former Admiral Presley Rixey, to create Marymount University. Admiral Rixey, actually my classmate Joe Rixey, was a descendant of Admiral Rixey. And Admiral Joe Rixey and his wife Kathy are here with us today. So thank you, Joe, for your family contribution to this great day as well, too. But congratulations to all the students, the parents, the grandparents, the siblings, and the loved ones, molding these young students into the marvelous young women and men that they are today. And I would like to take a moment to ask all you students to get up, turn around, and give a hand of applause to your parents and your family right now. Come on, turn around and give them a hand of applause. Thank you. Madam President, thank you for that kind introduction and this great honor. For the privilege also of speaking today, if only for a short time. And I do promise you that I will be brief. Because I come to deliver a very simple message. Be brave and be bold in service to our great nation. Be brave and be bold. Because our country needs you and your leadership today more than ever to excel, to soar, to inspire, and yes, even to safeguard our democracy, your democracy, so that all can fulfill the American dream as citizens of this great nation. It is indeed now your responsibility to lead, to believe in yourselves, and to put in motion what you have learned here at Marymount to make a positive difference in the lives of all Americans and all peoples around the world. We now need you to be brave and be bold so that this great nation can continue to be that beacon of hope and inspiration for all Americans and all people throughout the world. We need you to be brave and be bold, to serve our nation as leaders, as the President said, of character and of principle. Because there are today great challenges and regretfully a deficit of principled leadership in this country, particularly at the highest levels of government. Now, many believe that our political leaders today often lack empathy for those that they lead. They ignore our laws, including sometimes the Constitution itself. They put their own financial interests ahead of those that are struggling most to make ends meet. And at times, they are even considered incompetent. I do worry for our nation. Others, perhaps, see the situation differently. However, what I do know is that it is now you and the hope that you bring to our future that inspires me and inspires all of us here today. I know that as you graduate from Marymount, you will be brave and be bold in serving our nation as teachers, engineers, artists, musicians, nurses, athletes, and yes, perhaps even politicians. In doing so, always remember that leaders are not demigods. Leaders are ordinary people like yourselves who step forward to serve their communities in sometimes truly extraordinary ways. Leadership is also not just about being in charge, holding office, or even trying to make yourself a king. In fact, true leadership is an act of humble service to others. And each of us finds our own journey of service to others, whether in a military uniform, in the private sector, as a government civilian employee, or in volunteer capacities, service is truly, truly honorable. And how one serves also evolves over the course of your own life. My journey of service began in 1962 when my family and I escaped the clutches of the Castro regime in Cuba, and like the president, came to this country in the hopes of something better. We were inspired by Americans' founding promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness under a democratic government that would protect individual freedoms under the very rule of law. I grew up in a nation built on values, protected by a military built on honor. A strong conviction to uphold those principles and to give back to this country has been my guiding light throughout my life. Joining that military was my chance to be bold and be brave, and to give back and to serve. During my first 22 years of service, I wore the uniform of the United States Navy, serving aboard 5 ships. I served as commander of the destroyer USS Bulkley, as was said, as well as in tours of duty at the Pentagon and the White House. And after I retired from the Navy, I found new, different ways of serving our country from the private sector as a founder of a small business, along with my wife, contributing to the greatness of this country for an additional 17 years. I then reported in 2021 to work as the 78th Secretary of the Navy. It is often said that real leaders draw their organizational charts upside down. They flip them. The triangle is actually upside down. I want you to remember that. My job as the 78th Secretary of the Navy was to enable the success of nearly 1 million sailors, Marines, reservists, mariners, and career civil servants in the Department of the Navy. Now, nominally, they reported to me. However, in my mind, from my perspective, I was accountable to them and to their families. Moreover, I like to think that during that time, I was also brave and bold in doing so. Now look, the average American life expectancy now is more than 77 years, thanks perhaps to many of the alumni who came before here in the School of Health. But that means that the conversations that we have today, the mentorship we offer, the values that we instill in rising generations will set the foundational toll of American society, not just for the rest of this century, but well into the next century. What do we want America to value in the year 2100? If we want our society to uphold our founding principles, we must prize the virtues of service and moral leadership. We must embody those virtues and must indeed be bold and be brave to safeguard those virtues. Whether we take inspiration from Winston Churchill or perhaps even Spider-Man, the principle holds that with great influence comes great responsibility. We are indeed, you are indeed, the guardian of our own democracy. Only by our common commitment and dedication can we keep our freedoms and prevent authoritarian dictators from imposing their arbitrary will on us and the wider world. I close by asking each and every one of you again to follow your passions, your own passions, in service to our nation by being the brave and bold leaders our nation needs you to be now more than ever. Go forth with confidence of the power within you, your classmates beside you, and your families behind you. Congratulations, class of 2025. May God bless you always, and full speed ahead to each and every one of you. Thank you.